What's up, YouTube? Roachsaurus back with another React video. Today we're going to be taking a look and reacting to what the top OG Fortnite guns are for this season and chapter in Chapter 4 Season 5. Let's go ahead and take a look.
What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over what I think the best loadout is for Zero Build in Fortnite OG. As always, if you guys do find this video helpful or informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below what you've been using this season and what you've found the most success with. So I'm going to quickly go through all the items as far as which slots they're in and what
I'm going to go ahead and say what I think personally first. My favorite guns are this season and what I think the OG loadout should be. I think, for one, the bolt action rifle is a must. If not that, then the hunting rifle for sure. Next up, we have the SCAR, and then the scoped assault rifle. And when I say SCAR, I mean suppressed SCAR. It's the best one. After that, I'd say like maybe the rocket launcher and the TAC shotgun, of course. All right, now let's see what his thoughts are.
I like. So for ARs, I think you're going to want to run either the regular AR or the scoped AR. I really did not like the scoped AR when the season first dropped, but it's kind of been starting to grow on me. I think you just want to avoid the burst. And one of the things with the loot pool this season is that a lot of weapons, when you get into the purple or gold versions of them, it looks like a different weapon model. So when I say regular AR, I mean the regular AR or the SCAR. They're both going to be on screen right now. These are the same weapons. It just like goes to a different weapon model when you get the purple or gold one. And this happens for a lot of the weapons. So when I say regular AR, I'm also including the SCAR if you're able to find one. An honorable mention will be the LMG. This has been reworked from how it was in Chapter 1, and it actually has a very little bloom now. I haven't been able to play around with it too much, but I think this weapon has a lot of potential. I just don't really want to ever use the burst. Okay. I think that's what you should take away from this. We'll come back to these weapons later, though.
So he did mention the machine gun. However, machine gun's all right. I feel like there's quite a bit of recoil for it, and it doesn't travel as far in distance. It's great for close range, obviously, and in like tight situations. However, I don't feel like it's a overall top pick for the choice of weapons.
For shotgun, I think you're going to want to use either the pump or the TAC shotgun, depending on which AR you're using. I really have not enjoyed my time using the heavy shotgun. The pump this season doesn't have the greatest body damage, but if you do hit headshots, it can have like really solid damage, and the gold one can hit for up to 207. And I think the green pump has a perfect, like if you hit a perfect shot with the green pump, it has 161 damage. The gold sharp tooth shotgun last season had a max damage of 165. So the green pump, as far as damage goes, is pretty comparable to the gold sharp tooth last season. And then the TAC shotgun is full auto. So you could just like hold down the trigger when using this weapon, but it does have a really large spread, which does throw a lot of people off, because if you just go for straight headshots, you're likely to miss a lot of pellets. So I've always found most success with the TAC shotgun, just kind of putting like the top part of my crosshair near their head, so the rest is still on their body, rather than putting like the dot in the center of your crosshair directly on the opponent's head. Because if you do that, like the top part of your crosshair isn't going to be on them at all. Like if you put the dot on the opponent's forehead, then that entire top half is just going to be a miss. Also, in close range, jumping and looking down on the person with the TAC shotgun typically gives you a pretty favorable pellet spread. For heals, it's going to be up to whatever you can find pretty much, but your main options are going to be minis or big shields. The chug jug is great, but you don't want to be carrying this, I feel like, oftentimes if it's going to be your only healing item, because it takes 15 seconds to use, which is an incredibly long time, but it's also...
I never thought about that though. Like depending on what AR you're using, depends on like what shotgun you're using. Different perspective to look at things at. But I don't know if that would even matter. And like in any situation, what AR you have depends on like what shotgun you should use. To be honest, I really don't think that would matter.
Like a one-use thing. So if you use it, you have no more heals at all. Again, this is probably going to come down to just whichever one you find, because it is very inconvenient to find shield this season. Typically, I would take minis, but I think I've been starting to kind of favor big shields, because a lot of times, like, you might trade shots with an opponent, they, like, break your overshield and then do, like, 30 extra damage to you, and you can't really do anything with minis in that situation. But for the final time, this really just comes down to whatever you can find, because it's really inconvenient to find shield this season. I think the best mobility item in the game right now is the grappler, as far as like getting around in fights and repositioning in fights and like taking high ground if someone uses the portafort. The rift to go is better rotation for getting around the map, but there are a lot of natural rifts on the map this season, and if you learn where those are, you can just kind of use those for rotation and not really miss the rift to go.
Yeah.
And these naturally occurring rifts.
Well, another thing with that is Rift-to-Goes, I've been finding a lot of them everywhere. So, like, they're not in short demand or short supply, I should say. So, like, traveling, like, as far as getting around the map, there should be no issue with that because you can find plenty of Rift-to-Goes. And as he said, there's plenty of rifts laying around the island as well in almost every location that you go to.
Are infinite this season, so they respawn after somebody uses them. Doesn't matter how many times they get used. There is a weird bug where sometimes they go invisible after somebody uses them, even though they're still there. Like when you get close to them, you can still hear them going off, or like the noise the rift makes, but it'll still be there. You just got to know like basically exactly where the rifts are. And then your final slot is really going to be up to you. I think the best options are going to be like a cover item, like the portafort. Ideally portaforts. I think the portaforts are much better than the bunker. The Rift to Go can also be good if you wanted to carry double mobility, extra heals if you're able to find it, or the semi-auto sniper. So the semi-auto sniper is probably the best weapon in Fortnite Zero build this season. It bodies for about like 97 damage, I think. And the green one headshots for 247. I said it headshot for 250 in a video yesterday. It's basically a one-hit kill. If you have blue or better semi-auto sniper, you can one-hit people. It has a 10-round mag. It's pretty spammable. And even just the 97 body damage is incredibly relevant this season because of how hard it is for people to get shield. If you have a full health opponent and you body them, that's going to take their overshield off and then 40 of their actual shield. And so now they kind of are in a weird situation where like they might not even have heals to put on. They might not be full HP. I feel like the likelihood of finding full HP opponents this season is lower. And just griefing people's health and shield pool over the course of the game is actually way more relevant this season than it has been in past seasons. So even if you only ever hit body shots with this semi-auto sniper, it's incredibly good, especially when you're competing against bloom-based weapons. So basically what I want to run and what I want to use comes down to like what shotgun I want to use and what AR I want to use. If I want to use the scoped AR, then I'm probably going to use the tac shotgun because
if I want to look at it from that perspective, I would say definitely SCAR and tac shotgun. I would definitely go with those two as far as the AR and the shotgun.
Because combining the scoped AR with the pump is not good at all. The scoped AR has a really, really low fire rate and a really large hipfire spread, so that's just not going to go well. And I don't want to use a pump just on its own. So if I go for the scoped AR, I'm going to be using the tac shotgun as my shotgun, which is a fine choice, I think. And then also if I'm using the scoped AR, I don't need the semi-auto sniper to be relevant at range. Like it still would be nice to have, but I don't need it to be relevant. Whereas like if you're using a regular AR, you probably need that semi-auto sniper to be relevant. So I would just carry a cover item in that final slot if I was going to use the scoped AR. So the inventory would look something like tac shotgun, scoped AR, heals, grappler, and then the portafort. And I think that could be really good. Is if I really wanted to use the pump, then I'm probably going to use something like pump, regular AR, heals, grappler, and then the semi-auto sniper if I can find one. So like you use your AR as...
Thing I might have been messing up on there is I don't really use a lot of cover. I don't carry portaforts around. So I mean, yeah, cover's a big thing, obviously. And I know Jake, he's big on his cover.
Close to medium range, and then use the sniper for very long range. And if I'm able to find a portafort with this setup, I'd want to like be able to recycle it or use it in game. But carrying it with this setup is kind of rough because if you're just using pump AR, heals, grappler, portafort, then you're not really relevant at like anything past medium range at all. But also like not having the portafort is rough. So like if you do have this setup where you're using regular AR, semi-auto sniper, heals, grappler, pump, then any portaforts that you can find in game is huge. And or you know, maybe you see someone place a portafort and you just go and fight them for it and take it, and then now you have that portafort. Also, any supply drops in game I feel like are pretty decent chance of giving you a portafort as well, so that might be something that you want to keep in mind. You also could run something super generic like pump, SMG, heals, grappler, and the scope there, but you kind of run into the same problem I was just talking about where like a lack of a cover item can really like ruin your game more so this season I feel like than last, just because there is more like open space on the map. You might end up in a zone where it's no big deal and that's fine, but you also might end up in a zone where like any player who doesn't have a portafort is just going to lose. So like it's kind of like a weird balancing act this season. I don't think I would run that final setup for solos very much, but if you're playing a team game mode and you can run those three guns and then you have teammates running things like, you know, maybe the Rift to Go, maybe the portafort, that's really huge. It definitely changes up in team game modes. So those are what I think the best loadouts are for zero build right now. Just a short recap. If I'm going to use the scoped AR, I would want to use the tac shotgun, heals, grappler, and portafort with it. And then if I'm going to use the regular AR pump shotgun, then I'm probably going to run heals, grappler, and the semi-auto sniper. I think the semi-auto sniper
Yeah, because I guess the way he's thinking is all tactics, right? So, like, with scoped weapons, you obviously want cover. You want to be up high. You want the high ground on your enemies. I see where he's coming from with that now.
Going to be like an S tier item this season. It's kind of slept on right now. I feel like I'm seeing more and more people talk about it, but it is probably the best weapon in the game right now. And with the Bloom third-person ARs not being very relevant at range, you have a huge advantage on other players in-game if you have the semi-auto sniper and they don't. The scoped AR can be relevant at range, but it's not like as deadly as the semi-auto is. It doesn't kill as fast, but you can still grief a lot of people's shield in game with the scope there, and that's one of the reasons why I said that I didn't like it early on, but I'm kind of starting to warm up to it. Is because early on I was like, this thing has such a bad fire rate, I'm not going to kill anybody, you know, but shield is so scarce that just like a few attacks on somebody not only doesn't kill them, but it like makes their game more difficult than it would be last season. Last season it was so easy to get shield and heals that it just really didn't matter. If you didn't get the kill on somebody, they were just going to heal up. But now the long game of fights matters much more. And then also, you don't need to just like pressure a kill right away. Like last season, if you tag somebody, you need to probably pressure that kill right away because there was such fast heals in the game. But now with the slower paced gameplay, the slower fire rate of the scoped era isn't as detrimental as it would be in like prior metas. So that is going to be it for this video. Key takeaways should be that portaforts are really good. The grappler is insanely good. I think it's the best mobility item in the game right now. And if you're able to learn where the rifts are, you're going to have
that grappler helps you get up hills and shit real quick.
Easy time getting around the map, and then you can use the grappler for movement in fights. And then if you are going to be using the regular AR, then you're going to want to pair that with a semi-auto sniper because that thing is a monster, and it is going to be the meta in zero build. As always, if you guys found this helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give a like, subscribe, like some more, and comment down below what you have been using most.
There you guys have it. That is going to be the weapons of choice for OG Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 5. Let me know down in the comments what your guys' favorite weapon is to use this season. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next one. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Catch you later. Hey guys, if you like the video, make sure you head over to the page, hit that like button, scroll over, smash that subscribe, and hit that bell icon to get notified for future video drops, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.